Hey ho, let's go, guys and gals, and hello, my friends. This is your host, Joe, Life with Josef, with my co-host, dude, who's lying in the shade somewhere. God love him, Freya, show him favor. He, uh, he's a doofus dog. You know, it was 109 or 10 yesterday. It's going to be the bed hut again today, and he is yet to figure out when he stands at the door in the daytime and I open the door to let him out. I have him on the tether. At first he'll step out and realize, oh hell no, and later in the day I open the door because he doesn't figure it out, and I tell him, dude, it's hot, and I open the door, and the last few times, especially yesterday, he just looks at me like, are you out of your fucking mind, you idiot? So Freya, show dude favor. But that's not necessarily why I'm talking to you. Today I'm going to make a story time. I got a bunch of them backed up and I need to get off my ass and start making them. Here is an old GM advertisement for GPS before there was GPS. And when I worked at the alarm company, I was on nights by now, and I don't know quite what the deal was, but we were field testing in our two wagons a GPS type maps, but it wasn't GPS, but a mapping system where it had the map in the control box, and the little screen, it was like a green and black screen. This is in the 80s now, so it ain't fancy. And it would sense your location based on your start point, and then it would sense where you drove. There was no GPS, there was no satellites like that. And remember, when GPS first started, it was heavily restricted because the military didn't want we the people to be able to know exactly where we were. Now, hell, every dash cam in the world probably has some type of latitude and longitude. You see it on my road footage. So we tried this, and bluntly, I'm a map guy. I've always loved maps. I love maps now. I have a map book. I mean, yeah, you use GPS and it's a tool, but if you can't read a map, then you really ought to be educating yourself. Anyway, we put this in. We had them put in the cars, and I knew my way around Oakland well enough now that where I rarely had to look for a street. And you had to type in all the stuff. It was slow, and I thought it was useless because the technology hadn't caught up yet. So we tried something like this, and because I have ADHD and my mind's everywhere, I thought, hey, let's I backed the map out to see how actually far, and it showed I-5 up the Central Valley, up the Sacramento Valley, and I thought it was an interesting toy, but it was an absolute waste of time. And now GPS is awesome. Now, right at the end at the Mercury, when I was on light duty, right before I just stopped showing up, the day that I got my pension letter in the mail. In fact, I stopped on my birthday just to make damn sure. Anyway, I was checking service, so I would plug in 10 or 12 addresses, and the GPS would take me one after another. So it can be a pretty awesome tool. But really, if you're out and about traveling or, full-timing like I have, and I hope to travel extensively again, you got to bring a map book. And what a map book does is it gives you other ideas. Like, you look at a map of Kansas. Well, there's a million little towns that I may want to go through. You got to know where they are. So it's handy to have a map, but I've seen something like this, and I've used it in the field when I worked at the alarm company, and the technology, the idea is good, and we see how a lot of us use GPS. I have a Garmin, in fact, I have an RV Garmin in Jolene with the height and the width and the length already typed in, so it won't steer me down roads like Needles Underpass I shouldn't be driving down. So I've seen this, I've used it. It's a good idea at the time, but the technology wasn't there, and the technology's there now. So here's a little bit about my early exposure to in-car map direction hardware, GPS, before there was GPS. This is, as always, your host, Joe, Life with Josef, my co-host, dude. Thank you for listening to another story time. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you. May Freya, in her infinite wisdom, show you favor on the hunt, now and in the afterlife, through our fields so soft and green. Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
Know your worth and never fucking forget it.
And as my Hanai Nathan says,
You'll never stop on the way back.
so we'll see you for the next one.